doing this, and
I know.
Okay, bear with us, Becky and Carolyn. I think we're about ready to move forward, so
She said
Adam,
yes.
we're good.
All right.
Thank you.
I thought it was my computer.
No, it's us. It's not you.
Okay, good. All right, that's good.
No, it's us.
Thank you.
So yeah, just to resume, or go back to what we were saying before the connection cut off. We started the digital membership program, mostly thanks to the hard work from Karina, in terms of having a system that is more efficient, quicker, and instantaneous. Basically, whenever someone purchases a membership through the Mound House, they get sent a digital membership card, and if able, or if they would like, people can opt in to the paper membership program and get a paper physical card sent to them. However, we've only had 2 or 3 opt-in of the dozens that have renewed in the last 2 months. So, seems very successful. We've actually been given, at least 2 people have complimented us on the new system, so that's great.
Can I interject real quick? Is that also on the website telling them that it's electronic now?
I believe so. I'll double check though.
Yeah.
So FEMA did pay a visit to Mound House and Times Square. I'll just talk about the Mound House part though. Mound House was visited. Specifically, they visited the exhibit that is sometimes referred to as the Underground. The exhibit building, they're just checking on the status of any work that had or had not been done in terms of surveying the structure, any contents, and at the end of the survey, they stated they will produce a mitigation plan for the town. However, other structures that they visited and are working on mitigation plans after Hurricane Ian. We're still waiting on a couple of those. So in terms of a timeline for a mitigation plan from FEMA for the underground exhibit, I don't have a timeline, unfortunately, for that. Hopefully we get bumped to the front of the list, who knows. But, and then in regards to the underground, it was actually during that site inspection that we noticed that the PVC mural panels that are in the underground exhibit were starting to warp from the humidity of the room, and maybe also as a result from the constant flooding of the room during our last 5 flood events in the last 2 years. And so we made a decision to remove those PVC panels from the underground to prevent any further damage to those assets. And so it was actually a great idea from our Public Works 2, Historic Properties Public Works 2, Seth Jacobs, that had the brilliant idea of actually installing it, the murals temporarily while the underground is undergoing its closure and temporary, and we figure out what's happening, to display them to the public so people can see the mural. And the mural has been installed, 5 of the 7 mural panels installed on the side of the kayak shed. So right when you drive into the Mound House, right when you walk up the mound towards the museum, you see this nice landscape mural of the Clusive Village mural that was in the underground exhibit, and it lines up perfectly where the horizon actually matches the real horizon of the water. So it's a very nice effect. Rave compliments from residents, rave compliments from
Looks great. Looks good.
staff, volunteers. Everyone has loved it. Really adds life and adds a new interpretive element for staff giving programs to utilize, and helps visitors better utilize the totality of the history of the site. And then staff is planning on applying for a small matching grant through the Department of Historic Resources at the state of Florida, which is a grant up to $50,000. And we're applying for that grant to pay for a feasibility study for the underground exhibit, to really look into all the holistic options of what does it look like to fix the underground. You know, is it a partial fix, a full fix, kind of just restore everything how it was and hope for the best and budget every year that it gets damaged, or like a larger mitigation plan, or a more moderate or minor mitigation plan. So we're hoping that that feasibility study grant will purchase that, will be approved. So we'll be applying for that. It's due in June.
Who is the granting agency?
The Department of Historic Resources at the state of Florida.
Okay, good.
So it's a state grant. And being on the state's timeline, the grant review doesn't happen until fall 2025, and the funds would not be released until summer 2026, July 1st, 2026. So it will be a lengthy process even just to get this feasibility study that will better give us a roadmap of what to do and actually have, hard facts from an outside agency preparing this feasibility study. But just to give you a better sense of the timeline for the underground and for anyone watching at home, if we had $1 million today and I was able to call up someone today and everything worked out on time, no one was sick, there
On
was
budget.
on budget, no storms, blue sky day every day, it would still be an 18-month process if we started today with $1 million, let's say, to reopen the underground in whatever state that might look like. So just to assure people that the underground will be closed for a while we're trying to figure something out. But the rest of the museum is still open. We're still doing programs, kayak tours. So while it is our blockbuster exhibit, the mound still survives. The whole 2.86 acres of the archaeological site, the historic 1921 house with its exhibits, our new artifact preservation center, and various programs, outreach, field trip initiatives, and other programs. So if you've only visited in the past for the underground and think the underground is all there is to the Mound House, there's more than just the underground. We have a lot of other cool things going on.
Adam, if I could, this
course.
FEMA mitigation plan that's in the works, maybe this is a better question for Jeff, because you've been down this road for other facilities. Does that mean it's a precursor for potential funding as well from FEMA, or not necessarily?
It's basically just a plan. For Ian, there was mitigation funds, if they deemed it necessary, but not a whole lot.
Is Tidal Basin part of this exercise to help us get funding for it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, for instance, for Ian, we just got it, kind of fast-tracked it for the rec center, so we were able to lift up the air handlers about 8 feet off the ground, which hopefully will help in a future flood if we have it. Say it, it'd be good. But it's quicker through the insurance, but you just for the underground, the mitigation for FEMA takes a while.
And then kind of moving on to other activities, like I said, you may recall in past CELCAB meetings, I've mentioned that the town was awarded nearly $27,000 from the Fort Myers Beach Chamber Foundation to purchase the parts, materials, and with the assistance of Florida Gulf Coast University's water school, the installation of a water quality sensor that measures near live, within 10 minutes, water quality conditions in Estero Bay. So water current, airflow, water flow, algae content, pH, salinity, temperature, and this is the only publicly available live water gauge for all of Estero Bay. So this will be quite a resource. We're working on getting a widget, or basically a small area on our website where people can view it, and possibly as well as the town's website. So residents who are living on the back bay, on the bay side of Estero Island, can check the water temperature and the overall general quality of the water in their backyard. As well as a good tool for any visitors, businesses. So it's a good benefit overall for residents, and also a great tool. You can come to the Mount House, to the observation pier, and see it, and you can scan a QR code and see the readings yourself while you're sitting there, which will also be useful not only for general information and people informing their own public health choices, but also a good tool for our kayak tourists to ensure that the tide's not too fast that would pose a danger to our programs, like our kayak tours.
Yeah, and we're hoping that the press release that goes out, it goes out to the media too, would pick this up.
Good.
You never know what they're gonna pick up, but I think this is a good story that I think everyone should be aware of. So we are gonna, did we do that already, the press release?
Not yet.
Okay, Nicole, I know that our PIO, Nicole, communications director, is working on it, but hopefully we get some good press out of this, and we'll be posting it everywhere.
And
Can you guys send that out to all of us too, the press release?
Yes.
That'd be great.
Sounds great. Do you think you would want to have like, obviously not a ribbon, I went and saw
we
it.
are.
You're going to have a ribbon, blah, blah.
That too. We
Good.
we FGCU, the Fort Myers Beach Chamber Foundation, and Mount House Town. We're planning on having a ribbon cutting for our second Saturday program, which is one of our free admission programs. That will be June 14th.
Great.
And we're planning on having the ribbon cutting tentatively at 10 a.m. when it's still cool. So we'll have a official ribbon cutting during that second Saturday, which is themed with environmental science, environmental sustainability. So there'll be free admission to the museum and some extra free programs and activity stations for
Wonderful.
families.
Wonderful.
So it'll be a great event. We got received a $1,500 grant from the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation to actually sponsor and pay for that entire Second Saturday series, which is that 3-month program where every second Saturday in May, June, July, and August, we'll have a free admission. So that $1,500 grant will pay for supplies as well as the, in a sense, 50 people to attend the museum for free on those 3 days to cover cost of that free admission day. We're hosting a volunteer appreciation day this Saturday, April 26th at Mound House from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The museum registrar has spoken on a panel, the museum registrar has been accepted to speak at the Southeastern Museum Conference in 2025 in October in Montgomery on the Artifact Preservation Center, along with a colleague from Florida Gulf Coast University and an art museum, whose name is escaping me, in Mississippi, about how small museums can integrate and change their collections for the better in terms of building a collection storage space within existing historic structures or with limited budgets, limited staff, limited time. I'm accepted as well to speak at Southeastern Museum Conference in October as well. That one will be on community engagement. The Artifact Preservation Center had its official opening day last Saturday on Lab Day, which was a public program hosting 18 people. We are now the only public archaeology lab in all of Southwest Florida. So then, besides us at Mound House with our public archaeology lab in the Artifact Preservation Center, the nearest public archaeology labs are in Davie, Florida, and St. Petersburg, Florida. So it's quite an achievement to have that for the town. And this lab, it's available for visits by appointment. So if there's any researchers or residents that just want to see what it is, feel free to contact Mount House and you can schedule a time to see it behind the scenes. And we hope to have more structured and scheduled behind the scenes programs like those lab days moving forward. And then we have the museum registrar and education coordinator will be speaking on various career panels coming up in this month and into May. So that's what you missed.
Oh, you've been busy. You've been
Is that
busy.
in 1 month?
That's all.
Is that in one month?
24 days. Technically.
I was gonna say.
That
That's
is
great, so a lot.
impressive.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Of course.
Well, okay, I wasn't sure about my audio, so I'm not sure where we are here, but back to the underground. Adam, do you know who will be doing the feasibility study?
No, not yet.
Well, how will that process work?
So once grant funding is awarded in summer 2026, depending on matching funds, which we're working on that as well, I think there will be a request for proposal made, and it will go through that process in late summer, early fall 2026. So it'll be through a request for proposal session that the contract, for lack of a better word, would be awarded.
To follow our procurement policy.
So it will actually be operated through the town?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think that is a highly specialized field, so the appropriate contractors would be, how many would you think would be necessarily bidding on this proposal?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Just as reference, we just did our contracted services. We renew every 2 years, so we have a panel that discusses about, I think it was 20 different categories, whether it's environmental engineer or site planning, those kind of services. And for archaeological services, we didn't have anybody put in the hat for it. So it's going to be
This
very
is Becky.
specialized.
I'm sorry. I have a question for Adam. While the underground is closed, waiting for grant approvals and that sort of thing, will all of the air conditioning and air cleansing and all of that stuff be kept going so as not to make things worse?
Yes, we're looking into mitigating so it doesn't continue to get worse, and then we're still awaiting an inspection from the industrial hygienist as well to kind of lead us into what direction would be best in terms of using town resources to accomplish that challenge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Emma?
I just had, just had a thought, if I could,
Yes.
Madam Chair. And we've talked about this, Adam, we're gonna lose Jeff here for a second, but Jeff, I wanted you to hear this. Oh. It's a bit unclear how this is gonna manifest itself, but there's still significant discussion about a water ferry. And obviously, having the Mound House be a stop for the water ferry would be, I think, tremendous and really help the Mound House attendance and just help on a number of fronts. I just wanted to encourage you, again, nobody knows exactly how this is going to manifest itself. We've got a little bit of a chicken and the egg problem here on Fort Myers Beach, that folks don't want to do anything until more people get here, but more people don't want to get here until there's more stuff to do.
Right.
So that's a little bit of a challenge, but I just would hope as you think strategically, think about, in a perfect world, which we don't live in someday, if that was to be built, where would it be built? How would it be designed? And just conceptually build it into your thought process as you look at your strategic plan, and to the committee as well, just to kind of think about how we would do it, how we would utilize it, how, it could have tremendous rewards for the Mound House. But, we've got a long way to go, but I know we're gonna have to probably do some things to our own facilities to make it work, and that would probably be something that we could potentially use impact fees for when they come. And so, the funding should be there, but I think this group would be really helpful to figure out how to marriage it with the mission of the Mound House, and just think about a little bit how it
You're
would work.
referencing the water taxi?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Water ferry.
Ferry, I'm
Yep.
sorry, yep, I'm
Yeah.
A
sorry.
water ferry
My
can
bad.
accommodate up to 49 people on a boat.
So
Yep.
we have had those discussions, and already said yes, we'd love to have them stop. Our dinghy dock would be able to accommodate that, or we'd modify the observation pier. So we've had those initial conversations, just because I know it is far out,
Yep.
maybe and potentially. But I think you had mentioned about, I don't know if you, I suppose I just said it, but we're gonna have a kind of a partnership hopefully coming up. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Oh, not yet.
It's a potential one. I just want to kind of piggyback on that and kind of